Hello folks and welcome to the stream. Tonight we are playing Hardspace Shipbreaker. That is a bit of a tongue twister if you try and say it too quickly, and I'm your host Ross. So this is a game, it's super chilled. I've already played it a bit. Let me just check a couple settings. No, I want my HUD on. I want the subtitles on so you guys can read that. So we're going to be playing through career mode, and like I said, I've already kind of started this. And the basis of this game is you're a blue collar worker, you've been sent up into space to salvage ships that have been decommissioned, and you have a massive debt that you need to work off. And the whole aim of the game is to be able to salvage enough to pay off your debt, but obviously to do that you're having to rent, like you have to rent your tools, you have to rent your spacesuit, so there's constant cost as well. But the game is incredibly chill about it. You level up by getting these, what are they called, LT certifications. So the more certifications you get, the bigger the ships and the different types of ships you can work on. You can upgrade your equipment. You can do data recovery, so as you go through you will find different like black boxes on the ships. You can find them and you can listen to them, and there's not much of a story, but you hear like the stories of the people that worked or lived on those ships. Whatever. Hey matey big, how you doing? You get stickers for your stuff. I was going to say weapons, but no, you get stickers for all of your tools and stuff. And you can see there, my debt is, what is that, like 983 billion? No, because that's 1,000. $983,703,468. So it's a big thing. So like I said, I have played through this before, so I'm up to grade 4 ships, which are towards the end of it. But for the sake of the stream, we're going to start on grade 1, which is the starting tutorial ship, and then we'll work through one of each grade. And so when you're picking your ship, the things you want to look at is core system. So this thing has a class 1 reactor, which is very volatile. Reactors are quite, not explosive, but they're quite dangerous. You only have, I think it's like 30 seconds to salvage them once you disconnect them. Hazards are pretty low across them, so there's a low chance of fire, there's a low chance of cryo damage, low chance of electricity, and a low chance of explosions. And the general resources here, so that I think is mainly just like raw steel. That's like glass, that'll be like fiber mesh, electrical components, mechanical components, loot, so just things like cargo crates, etc., furniture, anything that uses like cryogenics or like cryo storage, hydration and water, and then paperwork. So we'll start off with the Oceanist, which is our training mackerel. This is what you get trained on when you start this, and it fills your bay. Now obviously you're playing this in space, so there is a couple of things you need to keep an eye on. One of them is your oxygen, which you can see on my screen now. And so the way this game works is you've got your barge down there, you've got over there at the back 2 red furnaces and 2 blue processors. Processors are where you're going to put like stuff that tells you. So when you mouse over stuff, you'll see there it says like furnace for the glass or processor for the nanocarbon and stuff. Some stuff needs to go down into the barge. That's like the stuff that can be salvaged straight away. So like these are the engines, the nacelles. And if you right click and drag a tether using the tether gun, that's how you move large objects that are much bigger than yourself. Now if you press tab, it brings up your work order, and this tells you everything you need to salvage by the end of your shift. You only have so long to do this. You've got 15 minutes. So I need to salvage one of the engines. I've done that. I need to salvage an antenna. Now one of the things you can do with smaller stuff is if you aim it and hold down F, you charge up your gun, and then your gun will push it away from you. So there we go, we've salvaged the antenna. We're going to salvage the other one as well, because it's extra money at the end of the day. And the other engine's disconnected, so we're going to go ahead and tether that to the barge and grab some nice money there.
You want to see something special? Take a look at that rail gate.
Where's the rail gate? This is a new thing. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's cool. That's new. They've added that since I last played. That's like how they launch ships into orbit and stuff.
Wow. What a beauty. You know, no matter how many times I see that railgate fire, it never ceases to amaze me.
So Weaver is kind of like your guy in the pod that talks to you and keeps you on task. Oh, here we go. Look, some keys. Now keys are handy because you can use them to turn off computer systems later on. You've got to cycle the airlock because everything's pressurised. So like that, if I was to just start cutting into the ship would explode because the air in here is under pressure. So I need to find the O2 atmospheric regulator, and I need to power cycle so that the ship is depressurised. So we're now in a vacuum, and then I need to depressurise the airlock.
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
There we go. We're now free to move around the ship. Now through there's not depressurised, so yeah, so you get a little warning sign to say, you know, the air pressure's unequal. It's okay because it's quite a small room. We're relatively safe. Now this is your cutting tool that I've just pulled out here, and it's got two modes. You can use it as a line, or you can target individual items. Basically precise mode or fire in line. And you use it to cut away these little yellow bulkhead joints to disconnect sections, or you can hold it down longer to melt away large sections. But you might have noticed a second ago there, if I try and actually salvage this panel. So it tells me there this needs to go to the furnace, so I'm just going to tether it to the furnace. It'll get pulled away, and I'm going back to work. So when you've got your cutter temperature in the bottom right there, you'll see cutter temp. Sorry, when you've got your cutter out, you'll see cutter temp. This is the temperature of your cutter. You do not want that to get too high, otherwise your cutting tool will explode and do damage to you, and that's not fun. Now I'm not going to disconnect this panel because this is the reactor, and this is really the thing we're here for. This is where the big money is. Instead, what we're going to do, because reactors always go to the barge, but reactors are very dangerous. So you see this bit, it's got more nanocarbon, so it needs to go to the processor. As does this bit, so we'll send it off to there. Now reactors are very dangerous, like I said, because after 30 seconds they explode. So you've only got 30 seconds to get them, which is why, especially on like the training ships, I like to tether it straight to the barge and then get the hell out of its way. There we go. See, like it sparks and things like that. And you always get that like music change. Reactors can really mess up your day if you're not careful with them. You know what? This is pretty much the game. The only thing that gets any more difficult than this, Matey Big, is when you get to cutting joints that you can't do. Like you can't cut some joints with your laser, but they've added a thing to the game which is demo charges, which we'll get to later on. They can be used for that. And if you look at the very top of the screen in the centre, you'll see it says mass remaining. That's how much of the ship is left I can salvage. You can see I haven't quite met my work order yet, and I'm getting close to running out of oxygen. There we go, move that tether.
Tether supplies running low.
So there's a little AI in your suit that tells you when you're running low on stuff. I think another thing up here is the thruster cells on the back. Yep. We want to try and grab these, so we'll need to cut it out of its mounting. Basically this game is, if you see something yellow, try and cut it. Okay, so you go to the processor. I'm just going to tether you there. And if you look at something, I think it's if you press, no, it's not tab, it's not F, there's one of them. Changes. R is to bring up your tools. There is a button that lets you see, there it is, T. So T changes your view to bring up like the structural system. So you can see anything that's orange, like a dark orange, is structural and you're not going to be able to cut through it very easily. Sort of yellow is cut points, blue is heavy panels, and light blue cyan is light panels. You can press it again to get systems and stuff once you've got those upgrades. So we are going to try and gut this thing entirely, which usually takes a couple shifts, to be honest, but as long as you get your work order done on the first one, you're golden. You don't need to worry too much after that. Well, they've added new songs to this. So as you can see, as I'm pulling the ship apart, it's starting to drift. You know, things... Crap! Okay, the side areas were not depressurized, and my O2 is running out. So I'm going to fly back to the pod, get my O2. The music's bumping. And then we'll go back and see what we can salvage. What's left. Because we only need to get a couple bits of metal and then we're done with this order. And I was further away from the hub than I thought. So you walk over to the terminal and you can basically buy more oxygen. Oh, always forget, it's not escape, it's tab to get away from it. Now as you can see, the berth is actually quite big. Because as you progress through the game, the ships get larger and larger. So that bit there is basically one whole like massive section. So we're going to tether that in. I should have bought tethers actually when I was over at the hub. That was a mistake. So these are cut points, but they're a little bit more reinforced. So they take a bit longer to cut through. And actually if I switch to line mode, it's a bit more efficient. Really should have bought more tethers. Always forget about tethers. So there's one of the side panels gone. We've disconnected this panel as well, so I'm actually just going to connect it to the first one. And they've both broke. Okay. I really thought they'd be strong enough. So every now and then, like that, you'll see Weaver comes through and tells you you need more tethers or your oxygen's getting low, etc. So now that the work order's complete, we could actually just go back to the hub, end our shift, and they're happy enough with that. But we've got 5 minutes left. Let's see what we can get, you know, let's see how much we can strip this baby. Stop. Tethers, there we go. So let's immediately grab you into the processor. Away with you.
Cutter, there's 5 minutes remaining in this shift. Get in while the getting's good. We wrap.
You really don't want to go in there, do you? Now, yeah, that panel can go because it's not connected to the airlock. Airlocks are a bit complicated to do. I still haven't figured out what the best way to do an airlock is. How to salvage it. I'll catch up with Chan just a second. I want to make sure I get all these cut points. There we go. So all these panels should now be loose and ready for salvage. Nope, connect you to yourself. Good one, Ross. That's a waste of a tether. There we go. You should just float away. Yep. Don't break, don't snap. Or if you do snap, just keep carrying on the direction you were going.
Credits deposited.
Come on, there we go. Right, they're now getting away. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try and cut away this section here, which requires a bit more fine cutting, because you want to try and salvage as much as you can. So you're still connected at the bottom there by that little strut. This is the longest bit actually. It's like figuring out what you need to cut in order to like salvage sections. So like for example here, these two struts are the only thing holding the ship together. So by cutting that, that should mean this section's now loose. Should. Judging by the fact I'm not able to pull it, means there's something still connecting it. Maybe that door control? You can launch that to the barge, it's reusable. You know what, we're just going to pull it to the furnace with a tether if it's loose. It is loose, right, okay, I just wasn't strong enough to pull it. It really is a relaxing game, this thing. The music's super chill as well. Salvage the chairs.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
And obviously as you play the game, the ships get more complicated in their design and they come with more hazards.
Secured. Account credit applied.
And what I might do, just because I'm getting close to time on this job, and to show you guys on stream what happens when you put something in the wrong area. Let's see if I can get all of this disconnected. I can see the cut points.
Salvage secured. Credits
I can see one of them anyway. You in there? There you go, you should be loose now.
Cutter, we're getting down to the wire. Let's put a bow on this shift.
And so when you get a minute left, Weaver tells you. So you can see this section here, this is our airlock, tells me it needs to go to the processor, but this needs to go to the furnace. I'm going to send this to processing because it's going to be worth more than the furnace is. And it comes up saying you have been docked pay, remember your training, etc. for not furnacing all of that stuff. This section is kind of in of itself. It is only the training one, we've only got 30 seconds left. Now for everything that goes into the wrong thing, you do get docked pay, so don't just think you can shove the whole thing in the processor, it doesn't work. Trust me, I've tried. And I'm using my use all the tethers towards the end of your shift because you're paying for new ones every time. There you go, destroyed airlock, I didn't process it properly. And let's catch up with the chat. So Jamie, no, this is not a new game. This is just me. I'll explain it again. So this is my how much money I made for the day. I made $2,267,723. If I complete my shift, you'll see my expenses, and you see I get very little back. There you go. So I had to pay that much for like leasing the bay, the transportation fee for getting the ship in there, the cutter rental, the grapple, the hub rent, the utilities, my suit, you know, umpteen thousand for air. It really takes a while to chunk through this. But no, what I'm doing is I'm not playing a new game, I'm just going through each grade of ship. So I'm all the way up to grade 4, but we've started at grade 1, which is the training ship. We're now going to go to grade 2, which is these ships here, which is where you really start kind of getting some hazards. And yeah, the barge is there for stuff to be yeeted into. Half the time I won't even look. I'll just be like, yeah, down there, bang, away you go. It's great. But bear in mind, my debt is 981 million. I've got a lot of debt to pay off. But as you'll see, as I play through this, as you get to bigger ships, you end up having to come back, and you can't do a full ship, some of the bigger ships, in one shift. You've got to spread them out over multiple. So what I always try and do is on the first shift, try and get as much of the work order done as I can. And then after that, usually as long as there's a good amount of the ship left, you can keep coming back to it and you'll make enough to not take a loss on each shift. And you can just sit and kind of chill and scrap it at your own pace, sort of thing. So now we're up to grade 2 ships, and these are the first sort of ships that you get to dismantle. So we've got a macro class. Actually, they're all macro classes, but it's whether we want a station hopper, which are these two, well, these three, or a cargo vessel. And the difference is it shows you, so the cargo vessel has a class 1 reactor, a power cell, and a class 1 thruster. Each of them need to be salvaged in a certain way. There's a high chance of fire damage, there's a decent chance of cryo damage, electrical damage, high chance of explosives being on board. Because these are all decommissioned, and they're decommissioned at like the cheapest price, so like people leave stuff on them. Good amount of nanocarbon, good amount of glass, a couple mechanical things. So the cargo one's not bad. We'd probably get, so total value is 3 million. We'd probably get some good money with that. And then you've got the macros, which have a class 1 reactor and a class 1 thruster, but they don't have power cells. Power cells are worth a lot of money. But they probably have more in the way of glass and, like, because they're station hoppers, they're personal transports. And that one, for some reason, is heavier. I think we're going to go with the cargo, just so I can show you guys power cells. How did I get $900 million in debt? I waged an intergalactic war as the head of the rebellion, and I forgot that you need to actually pay your soldiers. Let's go with that. And now I need to work off that debt. Now I'm kind of hoping that this ship has fuel lines. So fuel lines is a thing you encounter as the game goes on, and you actually have to, like, basically start. The way I do it is start at the engines and follow the piping back to where the fuel pump is, and then turn off the fuel pump. You can drain the system. But basically, if you like burn one of the fuel tank, like, or the fuel pipes away, and you've not cleansed the system of fuel, you've got an explosion waiting to happen. And the nice thing is they are constantly updating this game. I mean, when I came on, I didn't know anything about the giant rail cannon ship firing thing, so that was cool to see. Doesn't usually take this long to load. I'm concerned now. But like that, every time you come across a new ship, it's just I find it really fun to just sit and fly around it and like sit and look at it and go, how do I take this thing apart? Like, where do I start? What's my starting point? The tutorial ship's pretty self-explanatory. I think we just crashed. Because the music has suddenly stopped. Yep. Stopped responding. We'll give it a second, then we'll start it. It's the first time it's ever done that to me, actually. I wonder if the new updates maybe done something. Although I did notice there my computer needs an update. I wonder if the update's maybe an issue. I like old Star Wars games. Don't kink shame. And I like this. It's got an employee handbook, and it tells you, you know, archaeologists can amplify off of metal and stuff like this. Their physics engine is actually pretty decent. So what did we ended up going for the cargo ship, didn't we? This is also new. The barge starting up and the processors and the furnaces coming online at the start of your shift. This was not in it originally. Although I like it. Right, let's see what's on the work order. Salvage a class 1 thruster, salvage an engine nacelle, and salvage some nanocarbon and metals. Easily done. Grab the antennas real quick because they are dead easy to salvage. You just basically rip them off and chuck them in the barge. And then the engines on this one are nice and easy to salvage as well. So when you look at the engines, like on this one, if they're only held on by a cut point, there's no fuel system to worry about. If they are like connected, so see how like there's a cut point there, right? And I'm going to cut it. If they are actually physically touching the body of the ship, good chances are you've got a fuel line to deal with. And it's probably piping into the side of those engines.
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Now one of the buttons you can press is X. If you're running low on fuel and you're near the ship, you can just hold X to like grab onto surfaces and pull yourself around. Oh, a black box. Data drive. Grab that. Something to read later on. In fact, I can listen to it now.
Dear Xavier, I wrote you a poem in your language. I hope you like. Sorry for.
Pressure level decreasing.
You are my sun, bright and center of my being.
Your pressure level decreasing.
Warm fire, always there and burn brightly. If you go away, I will die. Cold and alone. Please do not be doing that.
What a poem.
Of anesthesia.
What a poem. So let's get the reactor out, because the reactors are always quite dangerous. We'll salvage this into the processor with you. Boom, I need to get away from you because you're going to start spinning. There we go. Right, reactor. So again, we just want to yank the reactor out straight into the barge, and we want to stay away from it.
Credits awarded.
Cool. Your engineer always gets a little worked up when you do that. Now, one of the things folk might have spotted is there's actually consumables in here, oxygen and stuff, so I'm going to keep these for later. And I'm going to try and salvage the back end. Is this another airlock? What is this? I feel like oh, this will be... Yep, into the there's a fuel tank, right enough. There is an independent fuel tank, so don't go just cutting randomly into walls there, folks. So I think on this ship the idea is you're meant to have like a suspense of disbelief, right? That yeah, the fuel somehow gets to the engine. There's no actual pipe, but there is a fuel tank to deal with, so this is part of our issue. We need to cut that out without actually setting the thing on fire. It's a very dangerous job, and one I always mess up. The best way I have found to do it is actually take out adjacent... Well, there's a cryo unit down there as well, coolant tank. Take out adjacent panels using the precision cutter. Take this panel out. Oh, my grapple's been damaged. There we go. Now, if you want to get down to the real like nitty gritty, you could actually just salvage the light off there. There's a light fixture there. Now, you want to be real careful with fuel tanks. They're very delicate.
Object accepted for
And then watch me yeet it down to the barge because I know it's safe from here. Bye bye. There you go, process fuel tank. What's the bet? There's another one on the other side as well, actually. So what is that? That's a pipe junction. So does that go to the back engine? No. Oh, but there is the power cell.
valuable
And it'll be right behind the thruster.
credits
Let's
deposited.
quickly go grab that. So one of the things you need to deal with, as you'll spot now, is the ship no longer faces the same direction that it did when we started. Because as you work on it, it will slowly like move around and stuff. So you need to like when you're inside it. There you go. When you're inside it, you need to remember that sometimes stuff shifted.
Credits awarded.
So this is the thruster class 1. You pull it out like that, and then I usually just get it to nosedive down. Like so. And now let's see if we can get this side
Deposited.
totally off. Get into that coolant tank there. Now you'll see when I get through the cuts there, you'll actually see that the cutter arcs off the metal. That's why you want to be careful around fuel tanks as well, because you can actually end up arcing the cutter off of like nanocarbon and igniting the fuel tanks.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
And yeah, that Star Wars game library I've got, that has been built up over a number of years. There we go, nice big chunk going to the processor. So coolant tanks are pretty dangerous as well. Not quite as dangerous as fuel, but you can hurt yourself with them. The same sort of manner,
Tether supplies are low.
don't shoot them.
Salvage deposit accepted.
Now again,
Credits transferred.
when you nope, didn't want to do that. You're disconnected, aren't you? Great. Oh no, I'm going to have to cut into there now and I don't know what's on the other side. So I have damaged that oh, I'll grab that oxygen tank, I'm getting low. I've damaged the door handle there, which means I now can't like use this door. So I'm going to have to cut through this wall or disconnect it somehow. I think the best way for me to do that is probably disconnect the aft section of the ship. If I disconnect that by cutting these 4 joints, nope, you're still connected. That might let me in. Nope. Oh, see, I could. Oh, I can cut through this panel if I'm careful. What's through here? What was I cutting towards? Yep, fuel tank. Now this one's going to be like a real careful job because we can't actually cut this out because it's the airlock. So I can cut this, no bother. But then look where the other joint is. There we go. Now if I fly back out here, we can remove that panel and get that fuel tank out. There we go. Don't hit the fuel tank! That clipped through the fuel tank. I'm a very lucky boy. There you go, down to the barge with you. And now our aft section is disconnected.
Account credit applied.
So I'm going to go ahead and put the aft section into the processor. That'll get us a good chunk of money. we can start working to dismantle the rest of this ship. Now, one thing we didn't do in the last one was we didn't actually disconnect the airlock at all. So let's start on that. This is also new. See all like the little bits of rubbish that are flown like nuts and bolts? That's all new. I don't think that was originally in it last time I played. How many joints have you got? One on the top, one on the bottom. So the work order is complete. We've got the minimum that they were requiring us to do. Anything now is bonuses. Give me that. Yep. There away. There's the airlock. It is disconnected from the ship, so we can salvage that to the barge. It's a perfectly good airlock. Oh, right, okay, so we've got a power cell, there it is. And we've got another coolant tank. Let's see if we can cut these out. You off to processing.
Looks like you used your last tether. Head on over to the kiosk and get this.
So power cells like to arc, so you want to try and get rid of them quickly. And we'll go grab some more tethers, so we can keep tearing this thing apart.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
I don't actually know what happens when you pay off your debt. Yeah, your guy does like a thumbs up when you complete the work order. Tethers is what I'm after. I can always do that. So like that, if you get this game and you start playing it, you will take a couple shifts to learn how to dismantle a full ship. It took me a couple to learn how to dismantle ships like this. Oh, you're held on by 4 because you're the front section, aren't you? Right, let's get inside, start cutting away some roof sections, some flooring. We'll grab the consumables actually, make sure we grab them before we... because you can't keep them if you don't need to use them right that second. You can actually store them for later use in the hab. I don't mean to do that. Away with you. Away with you. Right, you go to the barge because you're just like a crate.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Disconnect the roof. Now that's a cargo hatch. That actually needs to go to the barge. That's different.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
You can't actually. There we go. No, come back here, hatch. To the barge with you. Is that a tape? What is that? Oh no, there's a key though. Take the key.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Bottle of Pepsi there. So you do get like a beeping warning when your cutter's getting too hot. So you cut this last beam up here and then I think we're good.
Alright, Cutter. Wrap it up.
Okay, so I think the front section should be disconnected now. salvage what we can. Is that roof section loose? Nope. Still struts in home place. So we're not going to get the whole ship here, and I'm probably not going to come back and finish this one off, just because there's so little of it left. I've managed to grab most of the good stuff, and that's going to take forever to cut, so let's just move a massive section
Valuable object processed.
into the furnace.
Credit deposited.
The heavier the section, the more panels, more tethers you need to use. Yes, so as you as you level up, you get certifications for like doing stuff. You can upgrade your tools and stuff to make them better. You can, so like I've got an upgrade on my suit, which is as long as I'm in an atmosphere, like as long as I'm in a pressurized area, I actually refill my own O2. It's very slow though. So I'll show you now because I think I've probably, yeah, I've gotten a couple. So you can go to equipment, and if you go to, so first of all, let's repair all our stuff. Durability. I have no repair kits left. I need to buy more. So you can see I've got a couple upgrades already. The upgrades are expensive though, much like everything else in this game. You've got cooldowns and things like that. For the grapples, you can go for range, or you can go like tether upgrades, or like tether lifetime upgrades. For the suit, you can go for like cryo resistance, heat resistance. I've got electrical because that's usually the one I fuck up. Demo charges, you can increase the number of demo charges you have. Your helmet, you can get the same sort of things. You can get your scanner, increase your scanning range and things like that, which actually I might do. Thruster. Do I want to improve my top speed? Not really. And then there's every piece of kit has this to purchase them. So you actually buy, it's very expensive to do, but you actually buy that piece of equipment, which means you stop having to rent it out at the start of every shift, which is real nice. But I actually need to buy, how do I do it again? How do I buy repair kits? My thrusters are pretty badly damaged. Oh, I think I buy them in level actually. But we got data recovery, so we can recover this, decrypt it, and what was that? It was flying officer. These are text files you sometimes find on ships, and they do get you a little bit of the upgrade points. So this one reads, Dear Xavier, I wrote you poems in your... Oh, this is the one we listened to. The really weird and creepy one. And there you go, there's what I'm currently working on. This is the quota that I've got to meet overall. So I've got to do 25 work orders, collect so much, salvage so much aluminium and nanocarbon, and get a bunch of credits. So like that, if you want to, you can press continue salvage and move on to trying to totally wreck that ship. We're going to move on though to a class 3. So these ships are a bit larger. So you can have the, again, cargo mackerels, or you can go with the station hoppers. So let's see which one has the most mass. This one here, this cargo one, has the most mass, or the most value to it and the most mass. Actually no, it's got the most mass as well. It does have a high hazard rate, which means there's probably going to be fuel tanks, reactors. In fact, the chance of explosions are at 5, so that's probably meaning fuel tanks and fuel lines. Good chance of a fire, medium chance of coolant leak and electrical failures. And this one has a class 1 reactor, power cell, and a class 1 thruster. It is apparently it's a hard salvage. They do have levels as to how difficult the salvage is. So we'll go for this one, the Swift. What's this one called actually? The Swift Smith. It's the name of this ship. And this might be the first one we have to actually like do in a couple shifts. let's just hope it doesn't crash again. But like that, one of the things I love about this is the actual music that plays when you are salvaging the ships. It's so chilled. And it's exactly... whoever was in charge of like putting the music to this game, they nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Because it's so chill and it's exactly the genre of music that you would expect. It's going to fucking crash again, isn't it? It's gonna do it. I know it is. I can sense it. If it crashes, what I'll do is I'll restart the game, and the next ship we salvage will be the last one. Because like that, this is a chill stream. I'm not gonna. I don't feel like. I'm not gonna go the full 3 hours. Be a bit of a shorter one. Give myself some time off after such a long Empire at War campaign. Besides, it'll edit down nicely for YouTube. Yeah, it's not liking it, is it? There must be an issue with the new update, because it never did this before. And it can't be the fact I'm streaming, because it's not that taxing on the computer either. Come on. This was the thing they added at Halloween, actually, ghost ships. Ships that are taken over by like an AI, and you need to use the cutter to destroy like the AI nodes on the ship. It's part of your work order. And you get like, the ship messes with you, so like the airlock suddenly open, door slams shut, it cycles the power and things like that. Turns the lights on and off. Like the ship's possessed. It's really not liking this loading business, is it? So you can see there the size of the ships that you can get. They can have like multiple massive fuel tanks and everything like that. They can be massive. But yeah, it's weird that it's acting up tonight, because like that, and I'm saying this, I'm not a sponsor, I just really like this game. I've never had an issue with it. Never had an issue with this game. It seems to be just tonight whilst I'm streaming it's having these loading issues. But if the folk who make Hardspace Shiprbreaker want to sponsor me, I will, by all means, shout your praises. I like that it gives you your little clock and ink card as well. So we were going to do a grade 3 ship. I think it was the Smith. Yeah, it was you we were going to do. There we go. Loaded, no bother there. It only seems to, like, it doesn't have an issue loading in for the first time. It seems to only be after it. I've been in and salvaged it. Oh, the furnace is firing up, looks real good. I just remembered to look at it. So as you can see, we're on grade 3 now. The work order is significant. So first thing is salvage the thruster, salvage a bunch of nanocarbon and metals, salvage the cargo hatch, salvage fuel, coolants, computer terminals, atmospheric regulators, what is that, a data bank and a data drive. There's a lot to salvage on this baby. I can already see a couple of easy cuts here, so you guys are just ablative shieldings basically. Let's cut you loose. And then I reckon you are processor. You'll be processor as well. We'll get you punted in there.
Valuable object posted.
Now,
Credits deposited.
yeah, look, see, this is what I was on about earlier. Most likely, because there's no cut point externally, and it tells me, see, it says danger, there's a fuel link running to that. Which means I can't just straight up cut it.
Airlock pressure levels dropping. Airlock pressure levels increasing.
Oh god, right, okay. Yeah, we're going to want to vent the atmosphere out here. Loads of coolant tanks in here, holy crap. And there's the computer terminal. That's where we can basically flush the fuel out of the system.
Air pressure level decreasing.
Right, now that we've done that, let's cut a floor section out. And let's be real careful about this. Yep, there we go. I popped the cryo thing. I popped one of them. Radio is now malfunctioning. I didn't even get through the well, did I? Crap. Don't blow the other one, don't blow the other one. There we go. Yes, right. Helmet's all damaged. Oh, don't tell me you're still connected somewhere. Uh-oh. It's all going wrong!
Damage has been found to negatively impact long-term job satisfaction.
It's all going wrong. Why are you... Oh, the ice is probably melted. Like, stuck it together. Hold on. Let's go out. Let's go outside.
Pressure levels dropping.
Maybe I can grab it from the outside. So if you take damage like I just did there, your suit starts to malfunction like this. Come on, disconnect yourself. What are you stuck on? There we go, there we go, there we go. Yes, you're out. Right, let's start pulling stuff out of here. Jesus. Right, you're now scrap. You probably could have been something, but you're scrap now, so to the furnace with you.
Valuable objects processed. Credits awarded.
That's not quite where I was aiming, but you'll get there. Now, one thing you should watch is the furnace does have a bit of a pull on it. As is the processor. If you get close enough, you will get sucked into there. Yeah, all of this could have been salvageable. I fucked it up. Like that, probably could have took the coolant out of the airlock if I wanted to. I was trying to be fast with it. I really should watch the electrical, whatever it is that's arcing over here. There's something over there causing electricity to spark, and I don't know what it is. Is it you? Oh, yeah, it was you!
Electrical damage.
Ah!
Warning. Health levels are low.
Deposit accepted.
Now I've got like old timey Wallace and Gromit music. Let's get you out.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credit transferred.
There we go. Repair kit. You know what? I don't really want to go over there anymore. Stop it! Let's just process you. Get away from me. Is that everything that was causing arcing? You probably cause arcing, don't you?
Valuable object processed. Credit awarded.
Oh, don't tell me the door's now electrically charged. It is. Oh, data drive!
Air pressure
Come here.
level decreasing.
You're expensive. Okay. So that's how not to salvage. Don't do that, kids. Take care when playing with plasma cutters.
Salvage secured.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get enough coolant. Right.
Salvage secured. Credit deposited.
Let's vent the thruster. And yeah, let's turn the fuel shut-off valve. Disconnects the fuel from the lines. Probably need to do that on both sides, I imagine. Now, if you don't have a key, I thankfully did have one because I had a few spare. You can sometimes on the ships find these manual cranks to disconnect the thrusters from their fuel system. And they can be quite helpful. Ah! Wondered how long it would take us to get to these. Reinforced cut guards. Let me cut one of these panels away. So you'll come across these green cut guards every now and then. And they're a bit of a pain because the way you deal with them, at least the way I deal with them, and it's the only way I can find to deal with them, is kind of dangerous, especially in an environment like this. What you want to do is grab something cheap like a light, aim it at the cut guard, and yeet it. It will smash the cut guard and then you can cut away to your heart's desire. What's dangerous about it is that that light will now ricochet off of
Below statistically
stuff.
profitable levels.
And I'm running out of oxygen because my guy's probably had a heart attack. So yeah, this is not an ideal salvage. A lot of stuff's went wrong here. I haven't ticked off a single thing from the work order and I'm nearly 10 minutes in. This is what happens as you get further in the game. You do find that your salvages become harder and harder. So the hope now is that at least the left engine should now be disconnected from the fuel system. And I can actually probably go to the back of the ship and grab the thrust and at least get that ticked off. Could probably get the cargo hatch as well, actually. Okay, so we need to cut those welds. Now if you don't do what I did, which was disconnect the thruster, what happens when you cut these welds is that comes firing out at like Mach 10 and it impacts the back of the bay. I've had it quite a few times where like my thruster has just ended up being a part of the wall.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Whee. Oh no, look. One of the fuel tanks went. The what was that? Port side port side fuel tanks exploded. Look, that's where it should be, and that was the damage it done. I didn't even realise it had exploded. Right, let's get the cargo hatch. So you are mounted from inside.
Alright, Cutter, you got 5 minutes left to this shift before they turn the lights out on you. Pitter patter. Weaver out.
Kind of wish I could see the rail thing fire again. Right, we'll get the cargo hatch salvaged. That'll be fine. And let's see if we can get those starboard side engines disconnected.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Don't think we're going to get enough coolant salvaged actually. Yeah, so there's the mounting point for a fuel loaded engine. Sometimes they're a bit more, they've got a few more cut points. So that's the actual engine cell, and then you do need to actually cut the fuel pipe to get it to disconnect. There we go, head back outside. I don't think that's going to fly away fast enough for me to fly out that hole, is it? No, maybe it is. Probably enough for me to put it to the barge, yep. And back away. There we go, so that'll be a good chunk of money for us. There's the reactor. And is that some coolant? It is indeed. Right.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Let's salvage some of these side panels that we've disconnected. Oh, need to take off. Where are you? Oh, you're connected at the top, aren't you? That's right, 4 engines, Ross. 4 engines on this thing. Cut away these little side panels. We'll do it on the wide angle.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits.
There you go. There, they pull off nice and quick. Get these panels loaded in. You've all disconnected. Come on. I've cut you loose. Why are you still... You're not connected to anything on the inside, are you? I bet I know what it is. I bet you're connected to the fuel lines. Yep, there we go. I think that all goes to processing, so when get thrown in.
Supplies running low.
Right, when you disconnect this side,
Credits deposited.
there we go. Now we can get the power cell. Get rid of you. Oh shit! I've triggered the reactor.
Secured. Credits deposited.
Just gonna go ahead and back off because that's gonna blow. And if it doesn't, yep, there it is.
Cryo damage detected. Do swear on your suit heating element.
Genuinely might die here.
Healthy body temperature.
Cut it. We're getting down to the wire. Let's put a bow on this ship.
This one's gone considerably wrong.
Explosive activity. Monitoring.
I mean, tell me that's not just beautiful though. We're just gonna sit this one out now, lads. This has been a wash. This one. Just look at it. This is why reactors are dangerous. What's the bet I didn't make money on that shift? I did, but very little money. Did thankfully recover some data, so let's at least decrypt this. What's an audio log?
Hey Martin, it's Junius. I got that shipment in from Earth. Yeah, still haven't heard back from the guy on Mars about the quote. When I do, I'll let you know, but it didn't sound good. After the budget you gave me, like, it might not be an option. That's all I'm saying. That's a lot of paint to ship up here, after all. I think my biggest worry is pink? Really? Pink? Neon, day-glow pink, huh? Why, buddy? Why?
Now, I don't want to continue the salvage, if I'm honest. That's unsalvageable, what's left of that ship. No, I don't want to claim that ship. What I would really like to do is actually get onto the level 4. That's a ghost ship. That's how you know they've got the weird... It says ghost ship, but then it's also got the weird, like, data corruption thing. I want to take this one apart, because it's a refueling vessel, so it's dangerous, right? There's a good chance it's going to explode on me. But I want to show you guys the debt charges. Let's hope this loads. I don't think it will. Oh no, it did! Hey, there we go. There we go. We've got demo right, so we get demo charges. Can I watch this fire again? Can you fire for me? Nope. So every now and then you'll come across sections that you just can't cut through. For example, that looks like a cut point. In all manner, should be a cut point, but it's not. And it even calls it a cut point, but it is in need of these. So these have, what is it? They've got two modes: placement mode. There you go, placement mode. So it brings up a grid. You get quite close actually to show you what the explosion is going to be like the danger area. You place them, and then they're ready. Basically, you can kick them off from your little handheld by switching modes. So we're going to try and disconnect this bottom section here. Are they actually cuttable, these sections? No, so they need to be dead as well. So orientation is quite important with the debts, because you can damage a lot of the stuff you're actually trying to salvage. I haven't even looked at the work order yet, I've just immediately got going in with the debt charges. Right, let's retreat to a safe distance. Oh! Go on, fire. Or did I miss you? I think I missed it. Yeah, was it? Oh well, we've got some explosions to do. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And now we can salvage the big bits of metal having cut through them. Of course, that is all 3 of our demo charges. Oh, sorry, all 5 of our demo charges, so we need to buy more. So we need to salvage the reactor on this one and not explode it. We need to get the Class 2 thruster, this is a better ship, and just a bunch of nanocarbon.
Account credit applied.
Should be doable. We'll get some more demo charges when we go for oxygen to tear that to bits. Coolant tanks. Now, I think I can just cut you loose, can't I? Yes, I can. You'll disconnect from there. Like the Epcot balls. There we go.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
So we will eventually find where the reactor actually is. We're just going to salvage on the outside what we can before we blow it all up. There's no doubt I'm going to blow something up here. So like over here, you've got this, what is this? High gain antenna. You disconnect this. And you're going to the barge. And then what's this? This is an amplifier. So that actually needs a demo charge to cut loose. There's the reactor, and we're not going to disconnect that until we get a look inside. Do need to get a look for the airlock actually. On this port side. Nope, it's on the top. Yeah, it's on the top. There it is.
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
So the aft section's probably, at the very least, it's where the thruster is. We know that. Might be where the reactor is as well.
Airlock pressure levels increasing.
If that's the case, your battery pack, you're probably worth a wee bit. There's a computer terminal. Ah, here we go. Door into the external section. Right, let's have a look at this thruster. Yep, there's the reactor as well. So let's see that. Cut point. Probably disconnect it from here. Take out these whole sections. Now this is all pressurized, so I need to decompress this section before removing the thruster. Unfortunately, I think the only place to do it's in here. Which means this is going to get a bit rough for a second.
Air pressure level decreasing. Air pressure level decreasing.
Yep, there we go. Right. We can probably disconnect that from the outside now.
Airlock pressure
The only threat I could
dropping.
really see for the thruster was the fact it was pressurized. There we go. So, take off these weld joints. And the thruster cap should just slide off. Like so. Or are you taking the whole thruster's coming out, is it? There we go, disconnected the two of them. Just you float away like that. You need to go to the barge. we'll get the thruster in the barge, and that'll be one of our work orders complete.
Valuable object processed. Credit awarded.
That's a big thruster.
Caution. Tether supplies are low.
So now we need to think about how we get the reactor out, because the reactor's in there pretty well. We're going to probably need to cut out a lot of the sections
Salvage secured.
of plating.
Count credit
Probably
applied.
going to be the easiest way to go about it. Hit my head there. And then I need to also remember my O2 is getting a little low. So let's make sure I'm at least able to escape. In fact, we could probably cut this out right here. That's probably the better way to do it. This will cut off the amplifier. We can salvage this. Maybe tear this whole section off. That'll give us a bit easier access to the reactor for taking that out. At the very least, we want to cut as many sections out as we can. We obviously don't want to shoot the reactor though, that's the thing.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credit transferred.
Now, there we go, got it. Right. Let's see if we can tear these panels off.
Oxygen reserves are low. Reminder, asphyxiation
Go.
can lead to missed salvage quotas.
Come on, disconnect. This one's going better. I haven't immediately exploded myself.
Welcome to Venditron Site Delta. Thank
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
It's not disconnected, there's something still holding it in place, I think. But we're up the front, so let's place these demo charges. Get this top section disconnected. Did I just drop that? Yep, there's a demo charge floating into space. That's an issue.
Cutter, you got 5 minutes left in this ship. Knock out that work order before they turn the lights out on you. We were out.
Yeah. There is demo charge floating around somewhere. I don't know where. Guess if it was going to explode, it would have done it by now. There's something satisfying about just blowing chunks off the ship, though.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Now that panel never disconnected, did it? No. Let's see, where are you?
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
You're not connected like that, are you? Or is it you? Maybe. Okay, so the back panel's off. That's a start. go over to there and it should suck it in. Unless the furnace grabs it first. No, it's going. Let's see, do I try and grab the reactor? Because this... yeah, see, I can't cut that. I can cut wherever that is. Is that a mountain point? They have definitely added new music to this. I think that was a cut point. Yeah, look, there's one right there too. Yes! That was it! Yes. Get the reactor out now. There we go. That is how you do it. Can I get you over to there? It's a big ass because you're a big heavy bit of metal. So these are the grade 4 ships. This is a grade 4 ship I'm working on, which is why I don't quite know everything about them.
Alright, Cutter. Wrap it up. You got about a minute left.
A minute left of this shift. Let's see what we can get done. Definitely get that massive chunk in there.
Caution. Tether supplies are low.
I know it is. Let's see if we can get this chunk in there, because now that it's disconnected. Let's just use all our tethers actually. Make sure that it gets in there.
Cutter, looks like you used your last tether. Head on over to the kiosk if you need more.
And then at the very least we can actually just do a couple cuts. So we're probably going to come back to this ship. There's a lot left of her. Okay, that went a lot better. We only destroyed a light and a little bit of aluminium. And we actually have quite a bit in the way of upgrade points. No new data to recover. Yeah, see, I'm not rank 9 yet, so I can't actually purchase that. The only thing I think I can purchase is my helmet, which I might save up for because I'm not massively far off. So we're going to go back to salvaging the same ship as before, because there's still quite a bit left in terms of value on her. And hopefully I'll get to see the railgun fire again. I don't have any explosives. I need to remember that when I go for oxygen. So the demo charges don't reload every time you start a shift. You need to buy them. At least the barge is cleared. Oh look, you can see a ship down there.
Credits transferred.
I kind of wish you got like a notification to say the railgun was going to fire.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
So all that's left is to salvage a bunch of metal. Oh! Something sounds like it's powering up. Yeah, definitely sounds like something's like charging up. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Stop. We did disconnect the airlock though. I need to actually cut the airlock out.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
Let's see, where are you still connected? There should be a whole section ready to go, a whole like loop. Let's see, if I tether you to the back of the berth. Yeah, you are disconnected, you're just really heavy. Okay, I'll move you, salvage you later. Let's cut these struts. I'll let us enter the roof. So this is how like nitty gritty you can get down to, right? You can actually like try and see if you can salvage entire like side panels out just by cutting away the struts. And this is when it starts getting peaceful, when you can just sit and work away at it. There we go. I think one of those panels is loose. A section of the panel's loose anyway.
Raw material processed. Credits deposited.
Yeah, there we go. That almost whole section actually is loose. Oh god, what have I done? I've launched debris all over the berth. You're actually going the right way anyway. Right, chairs are salvageable.
Material processed. Credits deposited.
Keep you. The computer terminal is salvageable.
Deposited.
The table not so much because it looks like it's made out of shipping crates. The battery, probably salvageable.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Now, my plan is if I can disconnect this entire indoor section, I might be able to just throw the whole thing into the furnace. I might just need to cut away massive chunks of metal, that's the only thing.
Your oxygen reserves are low. Note that excess carbon dioxide can cause damage to Link's equipment.
Okay, we need to go for oxygen. Might need to use the line cutter to cut a square out there. Might be the way of going about that rather than trying to melt the whole pile in one go. Remembering by demo charges and remembering by tethers.
Oxygen level stabilizing.
Unless if... No, yeah, there it is. It just didn't load in for some reason. Right, retreat to a safe distance. Detonate. Move to the barge. Right, so rather than trying to just melt that entire panel, what I might try and do is see if I can cut the panel out like so. Yeah, I can totally do that. If I can just cut around where I know the habitat is. Be able to salvage the whole thing. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Looks like that. I don't think there's much left in here that doesn't need to go to the furnace, with the exception of this and that panel above the door.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credit transferred.
Maybe the door control? Come on, you're loose. Oh, that section's still connected to the actual structure, isn't it? Crap. Of course it is.
Gunner, there's 5 minutes remaining in this shift.
We'll just disconnect it straight at the struts.
We wrap.
There we go. Struts are disconnected. It should now be free to move. Can pull that into the processor. I can throw you in the processor because you're nice and light.
Object accepted for processing. Credit deposit.
See if we can get this big unit in there. You're not going anywhere near the processor. Yep, on track. You kind of stopped. You go. It's a bit of a mess now, but who cares really? Salvaging's a messy business.
Valuable object processed. Credit
You should have seen the last ship I did.
work order has been completed.
Hey, work order's done.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Oh, we do need to actually disconnect every single pod clamp, don't we?
Salvage deposit accepted.
Whether there's actually a cooling tower on it or not.
Caution. Tether supplies running low.
Salvage secured.
Oh, not every section goes to the processor or the furnace. Crap. Okay. Each section needs cut, that's clear. Here's what we do. We're going to disconnect this from the bow of the ship. That's it. Push you with my face. Oh, you didn't go the way I wanted you to. That's fine. You're a demo charge, aren't you? Love the music. Right, let's blow this baby. There's still more, like what, 4 more struts to blow. Then we can remove that center section.
Cutter. Time to start wrapping things up. We wrap.
We actually need to be careful we don't puncture the front section of the ship because that's still under pressure. Probably be what our next shift will be, is tackling this front half.
Salvage secured. Credits
Are you
deposited.
loose? Well, you totally are, aren't you? Look at you.
Warning.
I'm going to need to disconnect those fins at the front. Okay. Next shift we're going to tackle the front section of the ship, I think. We'll leave the back, what's left of the back, till the end. It seems pretty messy. Still though, work order done. It's not bad. Did we destroy anything significant? Not really. Well, we're up to 1,000 upgrade points. The barge firing up is cool. I do like that. Did you not go on the barge? You didn't, did you? Well, there's some easy money right off the start of this shift.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Alright, let's get inside and see what we're working with.
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
Now we've already done the reactor and the thruster, so there shouldn't be much in the way of hazards in here other than pressure, the air pressure, which we should be able to vent. Something's stinging over there. What is that? It's through here. Oh, power generator. That'll be dangerous. What are you? You're a fuse. Okay, and then along here will be the cockpit. What are we working with in here? Not much.
Air pressure level decreasing. Airlock pressure levels dropping.
So the cockpit has been pressurized.
Pressure levels increasing.
Depressurize this section here if I can find. Oh, look, there's a data unit. Oh, don't tell me I have to do it room by room. I do, don't I?
Pressure level decreasing.
Yeah, right, hold on.
Pressure level decreasing.
What the hell? Why is the home going like that? The home's the hub. Are we moving past the hub?
Airlock pressure levels increasing.
I don't want pressurized, I want out.
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
Holy crap, we've nearly ended up in the barge. Right, okay, we need to stop this. Crap. Connect to the back wall. Connect to the back wall. So the ship's done like a full 180, because that was the back of it. Okay, we are holding her in place. Wow, okay, pressurizing her did the number on it. Yeah, she's totally flipped. Okay, there must be like a leak somewhere. I maybe had a cut that's went a bit too far.
Airlock pressure levels increasing.
Oh, the airlock itself is pressurized. Of course it is.
Airlock pressure levels dropping.
Right, okay, let's just start cutting away the cockpit. Cutter's damaged, it'll now overheat much quicker. Let's see, that should be... Oh no, it's got mountain points down there beneath the captain's seat. Let me in there. There we go. Come on, out you get. I think, right, you can go to the processor. Yep, there we go. I can't really disconnect that. That's just going to all need to go to processing, and it's a really awkward space to get to now. I'm all upside down. need to bear this in mind that the ship is now upside down.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
If I tack you onto there, you should follow it.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred. Salvage secured. Account credit.
Now the grapple's damaged.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
There we go. So the cockpit has basically just been torn off at this stage.
Tether supplies are low.
And the airlock is now ready to be disconnected. Cool. Let's get in there and see what we can do about this this power unit we've got at the front here. Power generator, right. Let's actually take the airlock out entirely. We'll start there and work our way around. Crap!
Cutting tool overload detected.
My impatience got me there. Okay, we'll tear that airlock out. Into the barge with you. There's another airlock there, that'll be nice easy salvage.
Credits deposited.
Okay, I think the panel's maybe still held on. That's why it's not disconnected. Let's see. Ah, yeah, it'll be that. That'll be what's holding it in place. Okay, that's going to be a bit more difficult. We still need to get that out, actually.
Got about 5 minutes left in this ship.
We're running out of oxygen as well. How are we doing
Don't
for
bite off more than you can chew.
deaths? Zero. Zero detonators.
Welcome to Metatron 9000.
Oxygen level stabilizing.
Cannot afford you.
Thank you for your purchase. Thank you for your purchase. Thank you for your purchase. Have a nice day.
Oh, I can't repair my stuff till I get back to the bay. Right, we've got 4 minutes left on this shift. Let's see what we can salvage. I reckon there's probably some that for a start.
Processing valuable objects. Credit awarded.
Yeah, there's these large like strut fins at the front that I forgot about. These will come out quite nicely. Take the end off of here. So like this large fin, oh, this needs to go to the processor. A lot of this is probably going to go to the processor, isn't it? Yeah, it's the wrong place for it. Okay, drag you up. You're not actually too heavy, so tether you over there. And we'll hope that you just kind of get sucked in. We'll disconnect the top one first. That should let that flow off quite nicely. Now you do get game modes in this where it's like infinite time, and like you don't need to work for money or anything like that. If you just want to play like a sandbox version of it, that is something you can do. Come on, get over there. I guess that'll do for now. You can just kind of sit there until I can clear away for you to the processor without hitting anything else.
Time is winding down, Cutter. Dig deep and let's finish strong.
I really do want to salvage this whole ship, to be honest. This is like the furthest I've ever gotten with the grade 4. And then probably like the back, I probably need to melt these cut points. Oh!
Helmet damage detected.
Oh!
Branded repair kits to avoid invalidating your warranty.
That, you felt that, didn't you? That was a beefy hit. We're probably going to need to repair all our stuff now. We did get some data recovery though. Well, this is just a text file. I've only been vacked once. We were shooting up to line up a rock over crisp, real pretty rock, and I was so thirsty to get it done. And I didn't lock in my mag gloves properly. When the doors open, I could feel the vac creeping on my arm. It's like you got a rash, your skin gets puffy and tight, and then it was on my chest and in my helmet, and it feels like I was going to break out with my suit. The last thing I remember was the moisture on my eyes boiling as the pressure changed. My med vitals spiked and they closed the door. But I'll be goddamned if I don't lock my gloves in every time now. Right, we really should repair all of our equipment because it's probably really badly damaged. Well, a bunch of repair kits. Right, we're going to carry on with the ship we've been salvaging, see if we can get this thing totally done. Well, there's a nice, easy, quick salvage actually, if I just get those pods cut off. Oh, the helmet, there's something wrong with the helmet.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Let's see if we can get you to the processor now. Oh, don't impact the way I think you're going to impact. No, you can see the furnace is pulling on it. Stop! I'm going to lose all that metal, aren't I? God damn it. Okay, at least that rear section's now disconnected. Oh, I didn't realise you were both sections actually. Okay, we've got the power generator now.
Supplies running low.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credit transferred.
I'm going to lose you again, aren't I, to the furnace. Yep, furnace is already pulling it in.
Valuable component destroyed. Penalty applied.
I mean, it's mainly just armour plating, so it's not too much money I'm losing there. It's just annoying. need to sort this.
Curtis, you're out of tethers. Get yourself over to the kiosk to buy some more.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
What is that, a computer terminal? Well, is that on the inside maybe?
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Right, there's not really much else I can do without tethers, to be honest. I'm going to need to go get them. And like before, I'm probably going to have to cut... What are you? You use rubbish. No, your fuses. Yeah, I'm probably going to need to cut this middle section out. Cool, already done that. So, let's go get some tethers. So we're getting low on oxygen as well.
Tethers restored.
I'm going to try and keep you away from the furnace so you don't accidentally go in there. Are you going to pull through? Really slowly you are, yeah. This is when it gets a bit more challenging, when you're down to like your last few bits and you've got to try and like disconnect huge sections.
Processing valuable objects. Credits awarded.
Or it's just like an awkward shape or something like that. So yeah, you can see that these are disconnected, like these sections. What have I got? I've got 5 demo charges, that should be enough to do this. Retreat to a safe distance and blow him. There we go, that section's disconnected. We grab you and have you go to that docking jack there. I should hopefully pull the back of the ship up. And then you should just slide apart ever so gracefully. It's working, kind of.
Alright, Cutter, you got 5 minutes left of this shift before they turn the lights out on you. Either that or we wrap.
Caution. Tether supplies are low.
What are you stuck on? You will come apart eventually, it's just you're stuck in like weird funny angles. Come on, I broke you free. Yes, there we
Raw
go.
material processed. Credits deposited. Object not accepted. Please revisit your training. Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Right, I don't know how much is in here that's worth salvaging. Couple chairs, desk. Could just cut this out actually. And then call it a day, I think. See, you totally disconnected, or are you just... You're not even through the floor, are you?
Raw material processed. Credits deposited.
Oh, wrong place. Right, you quickly get into the processor before we run out of time. You go over there.
Material deposited.
Warning. Your oxygen reserves are dropping below statistically profitable levels.
Get these chairs out. Shove that to the furnace, and then we are done.
Deep and let's finish strong.
That's our last tether. We'll watch that go into the furnace from back here. Come on, get in there. Get in there and we're done. Come on, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. It did it to me. Hey, I leveled up. Now rank 7. Which unlocks Ship Class 5 certification. And I think that's the perfect place for us to stop for tonight. I do want to see if... Well, upgrades out, that unlocked for me. More demo charges, that's handy. Better thrusters. Close to purchasing the thrusters actually. What I am interested in is what is the grade 5 ships. Oh, they're huge. Okay, they look like they could be fun. But that's a ship for another time. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. It's been quite a chilled one for me. If you have enjoyed, in the Twitch chat just now there is a link to our community Discord. Feel free to join that. You'll get updates on when we go live. You'll get updates on when videos go on the YouTube channel, which is happening pretty frequently right now because the Empire at War series is going up on there. You can chat with us. You can recommend games to us. You can ask us questions, things like that. Give us feedback. Which is all very much appreciated. If you're watching this on YouTube as a VOD at a later date, that description is in that link is in the description below. I always say that the wrong way. But that is going to be it from me tonight, folks. I thoroughly enjoy this game. It is just so... It's relaxing until everything goes wrong, like you've seen in that one salvage job, and then it's just absolute mayhem after that. But yeah, that is it from me tonight, folks. Hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later, everybody.